Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. Today we're going to replace the axle on this trailer. This is a 6x10 trailer. We bought it in 2004. And you know, we load this thing with so much gravel that the other day we were heading to the job site and the axle bent. Of course, it put the tire underneath of the railing and popped the tire. Went and got a new tire and then realized the axle was bent. So with a lot of work and effort, we had to transfer all the gravel over to another trailer and then put the tire on here and limp it back to the shop. So today we're going to replace this axle. Take a look. So we start by breaking the lugs loose just like you would on a flat tire. Then we're going to take off the other side, the other tire as well. And then we'll jack this trailer up, set it on blocks, and we'll pull that axle. So let's get started. Remember, you need the weight of the vehicle to break your lugs free. So make sure that you break your lugs free and then you can jack it up, remove the lugs, and then the tire. For those of you that have never worked with block, sometimes people think they can turn a block upright like this and use it as a brace. Now, you know, on the trailer it would probably work because the trailer is not very heavy. But if you were to put it on the van or a truck, it'll probably crack. This is not weight bearing. You need to double up your blocks as shown. Double up the blocks, or you can use a jack stand. You know, this jack stand is rated at 2 tons, so 4,000 pounds, easily hold the trailer. So we're going to go ahead and break this side off. We already did the other side. Let's break this side loose. Then we'll be able to get underneath of there and pop that axle off of there. Okay, we're ready to pull the tires off, but before we do that, I need to jack up the trailer a little bit higher. Remember, we want to keep weight on the tire when you try to break these things free, otherwise the tire just spins around. So let's jack it up a little bit higher, and then we can pull this off. We can get underneath of here and see what we need to do. With the trailer jacked up, see the tire can spin free now. We can pull this one off, move it to the side. Real quick note, take care of your lug nuts. We're out here in the yard, we don't want to lose these. Okay, we can go ahead and take the jack out. We're going to use it later to hold that axle, but right now we just need to get it out of the way. So you can kind of see what we've got to do is, here's where the leaf spring is bolted to the trailer. So we need to take this guy off, or this guy, preferably this one. And the same thing on, you know, there's 4 of them. So we'll take those off and that axle will drop right down. But take a look and you can really see the problem that we had. If you look over here, and you see that axle? You see how bent that is? We can get a better view of that. You see how bent that axle is? This is from years and years of overloading our trailer with gravel. You know, we put 4, 5, 6 tons in here, and the trailer is really only rated at, you know, 4,000 pounds, 2 tons of weight. But we've had this trailer since 2004. Well worth its weight in gold. Well worth its weight in gold. So I started with a 21 millimeter, which is 7/8, and we got it on here, but it's so tight on there. It's been on there for what, 15, 16 years, and of course all that weight. Remember, there's another bolt, another nut behind it, so we had to put a wrench back there. I couldn't even move it, put the extension on it, couldn't move it at all. I tried the 4-way, it still didn't work. So I went to the 1/2-inch socket with 7/8, put that on there. Then I put my extension, and I know it's just PVC, but it works really good. I mean, it broke this thing free. So I broke it free, and now, with a lot of work, I've got the 4-way, which is also 7/8, and I can turn it. So we put some WD behind there, got it nice and clean. We've got to take off this one over here and 2 on the other side, and then this axle will come off. Not yet. Almost. Okay, so we broke off the other side. Now we're doing the same thing here. Remember, there's a nut underneath of there that we have to put to anchor it, to hold it tight. We've got a 7/8 wrench back underneath. Now we're going to use our PVC. I know it doesn't seem like it works, but it's plenty strong enough. Now it's time to pull out the pin. I already pulled one out. Let's pull this one out. So this is ready to drop on this side. We need to go to the other side and pull and do the same thing. So with all that weight that we had that bent the axle, it also bent this little piece of the frame. So I had to jack up basically the trailer itself. And now I can pull that pin right out of there. Okay, we're ready to drop this axle. Let's see what happens here. There's one side. Let's go do the other. So there's a bushing in here that's holding this together. Let's see if we can't just whack it. There we go. Okay, now we're going to take these leaf springs off, and I use my PVC cheater to give it some leverage. Works pretty good. We'll basically do that on these four and those four. So after you've reassembled the leaf spring, we're going to go ahead and hook the leaf spring up to the axle and the leaf spring up to the trailer. And if you remember, I just took out the top bolt. We're going to tighten all that up. We need 2 wrenches, one in the back and one in the front. We're just going to tighten all those up. So you can use a 4-way or you can use a 7/8, either one. Make sure your wrench is nice and tight underneath the trailer so that the whole thing can block up. So the problem that you face is you can see how the leaf springs, you got one pin in the back, but you see how that bushing is sticking out? That's going to be a problem. We've got to pound this side in to get it up into that bushing. So we were able to get the pin up here at the top. It's real important that you keep, see this piece that's welded onto the axle, and the leaf springs, you want to keep this flush. So you can see the distance here on this side, and you look at this side, and it's exactly the same. We want to keep that very straight. Now we're ready to tighten everything up, put our tires on there, and tow it around, give it a try. Okay, so we're almost done. We had to go replace this particular bolt because it got destroyed. It got stripped a little bit. So we'll get this on here. we've got our new axle ready to go. We'll tighten these last bolts down, put on the tires, and we'll pull it around and see how well it runs. So after you drop the trailer, don't forget to tighten these lugs up because it needs weight on that tire to really tighten them up. And don't forget your star pattern. That should do it. We're ready to hook it up. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.